Alright, hello, how's it going? Welcome to the Fenix A320 landing tutorial. In this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to land the Fenix A320 and shut it down. So first, let's get started here. We need to press the approach button. Once we're on the final altitude, we will be pressing the approach button right now, actually. Alright, and of course we need to reduce our speed. Now this time we have to reduce it fully all the way down to approach speed, which is 138. There we go, 138. And of course, as we lose speed, we will extend the flaps. We are coming in a bit hot, so I'm going to get the speed brakes to 50% again. I am going to drop the gear since we're pretty close anyways, and we can just go ahead and watch the airspeed die down. So we're now at approach. By this point you should have pressed the approach button. And alright, so let's just watch this thing land. Let's go flaps 2. Let's ding the cabin. Let's do the all call. And we're going to take over very soon. Right, we're going to go flaps 3 now. Okay. Coming in pretty hot. Alright, let's get rid of the speed brakes. Let's arm them actually. Let's go flaps full. We got gear down. We are going to disconnect the autopilot. We are going to take control of the aircraft. And we're just going to try to get this down here. I do apologize for coming in a bit hot here, but of course we're going to do our best to land the aircraft.
100 above.
Alright, so we're coming in on 28 right. We're going to try to keep it steady.
Minimum.
Alright, let's keep it on center line.
50, 40,
Alright, thrust idle.
20, retard.
And we're just going to float it down. We're going to float it down here.
7,
Alright.
5,
And as soon as we touch ground, let's go reverse thrust. Let's bring the nose down gently. There we go. That looks alright. And at around 60 knots, we're going to go ahead and disengage the reverse thrust. So right about now. We're going to tap the brakes to disengage them. And we're going to start slowing down here. So, alright. We are down. And we're going to roll out. We're going to take the next exit. Going to reintroduce the thrust just a tiny bit. That's enough. And we've arrived. Now all we have to do is find a gate. We're just learning how to fly this aircraft, so really any gate is fine. We're going to slow it down really quick. We're going to slow it down. There we go. Alright, very simple. Let's get the flaps up to 0. Let's disengage. Let's disarm the ground spoilers. There we go. We're going to set this back to standby since we're no longer in flight. And let's take a look here. So, flight directors can go off. Very simple. Just push the button. We need the taxi lights on. The landing lights get retracted. Strobe lights go off. And we are going to fire up the APU. So we're going to click on the master switch. We're going to watch the APU. We're going to wait for flap open. Let's wait for flap open, and then we will turn on the APU starter switch. Alright, let's wait. In the meantime, let's get rid of the other buttons here. So that's constraints off, glide slope off. Okay, flap open. We can go ahead and click on the start button for the APU. We're all good there. Let's release the brakes. Let's reintroduce some throttle. Clear on the right, clear on the left. There we go. And I am using Flightbeam's KSFO scenery, San Francisco International. Very nice scenery, very detailed. I do think it's a great investment if you fly into the bay frequently. But yes, we're just going to go ahead and take any gate. The scenery might look a bit different depending on which scenery you're using, but the layout should be pretty similar. It doesn't really matter which gate you select. So we're just going to keep it straightforward here. We're going to go over here. We're going to make a left turn on the taxiway. We're going to slow it down a little bit to 10 knots. Make that left turn. And I believe we're going to follow. We're going to, what's the number here? Well, anyways, we'll just follow the taxi line. Let's pick any gate. We're going to pick E7. I think it's E7. Let's keep slowing down. We're going to turn off the taxi lights. We don't want to blind the ground crew. Taxi lights off. Alright. We're going to park it to the right here. Let's keep it going. And we're not focused on accuracy, we're just trying to slow down and get this guy parked. Get the airplane parked. We're going to slow it down little by little. And alright, there we go. Very nice. So we are parked at the gate now. Very simple. We want to turn off both engines. We want to set the parking brake. Once that's done, we're going to stop the chronometer right there. And congratulations, you have successfully completed your flight. The EFB will ask you if you want to deboard. We're going to hit deboard, of course. Now we're going to start deboarding. If you have GSX, you are free to request deboarding. That gets the jetway moving. But of course, you can do this manually using the built-in ATC. All right, very good. So we're going to go ahead and get over to the overhead panel, and we're going to work from left to right. So we're just going to go for a turnaround shutdown. We don't want to go full cold and dark. If you want to do that, then just turn everything off. But we are going to go for a turnaround shut off. So let's go ahead and turn off the crew supply. Let's turn off all the pumps, all 6 of them. Alright, we're not going to need the APU bleed since we're actually just going to connect the external power. Let's head back to the EFB. Let's go to the Fenix app. Let's go to ground services. Let's connect the GPU. We're going to connect it right here. Alright, very good. Probe window heat can stay on. Nav can stay off. We can leave the beacon lights on. Now that we are connected to the external power, we need to turn the APU master switch off. And seatbelts should be already off. Sorry about that. Let's just make sure those are off since we're already deboarding. No smoking. Let's just turn that off as well. Emergency exit lights stay off. And we're looking good. So very nice. So you can see, if you have GSX, of course, you can see the passengers leaving the aircraft. You might see some passengers in the terminal if you have the GSX profile, but we're not going to dig into that. Anyways, by this time, the aircraft has been fully shut off. We do have a couple of things to do in the radio section, so we're going to turn off PWS. We don't need that. This little guy here, we're going to switch that to standby. And what else? Let's see. We can just go ahead and unlock the cockpit door since we're going to pretend that the flight crews are being switched, they're being exchanged. And all right, very good. So that is that. We have arrived. We are at San Francisco International Airport. And like I said, if you have GSX, you should see the ground services connecting to the aircraft. I completely forgot to open the cargo holds. I will do that right now. They are opening, as you can see. And alright, pretty simple. And that should do it. So thank you very much for following along. It's been great explaining this. And I hope you have an excellent day. Take care.